This is Julien, the French winemaking guy who makes wine videos here on YouTube. Yes, wine videos, and yes, I am French, but I did spend quite a while working as a winemaker in Tuscany, in the heart of Italy, where they speak arguably the purest Italian language, and I watched a few videos here on YouTube about supposedly wine experts telling you about how to pronounce those 10 words, some of the most important wine words in the Italian language, some of the words that you should absolutely nail the pronunciation of. And let me tell you that many of those wine experts don't pronounce it half as correctly. So let's clear things up and, nail once and for all the pronunciation of those 10 words. At the end of this video, I'm also going to give you one of my favorite wine proverbs from Italy, one of my favorite wine quotes from Italy. So make sure to stay tuned till the end of this video, but let's get right into it. And let's start with arguably the most famous, or at least one of the very, very best wines produced in Italy from the Nebbiolo grape in the north of the country, in the Piemonte or the Piedmont wine region. Yes, I am talking about Barolo. Barolo. You do want to insist on the middle syllable here, the ro, Barolo. If you are not able to pronounce the Italian R, and this is going to be a recurring trend, a recurring topic in this video, if you cannot pronounce the Italian R, the R as the Italians pronounce it, just say Barolo. But you do still want to insist on the middle syllable, the ro, Barolo, Barolo. Now, the cousin of Barolo, making top wines again in Piedmont from the same Nebbiolo grape, Barbaresco, Barbaresco. So you've probably noticed that the accent, the accentuation, the emphasis is on the resco, on the E of Barbaresco. If you cannot pronounce the Italian R, just say Barbaresco, Barbaresco, Barbaresco. I vini, il vino di Barbaresco, the wine from Barbaresco. So both those Barolo and Barbaresco wines are made out of the Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo Italian grape variety. That is a grape that is not grown all that much outside of Italy, so perhaps it's not all that famous, but it's certainly famous for being grown and making some of the top Italian wines. The Nebbiolo grape. At least we are lucky here there is no R, but you do want to emphasize on the double B here, because there is a double B to Nebbiolo, so you do want to sort of insist and double that B and say Nebbiolo, 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 Nebbiolo. Typical Italian pronunciation, Nebbiolo. Let's move on to our number 7, Montepulciano. Montepulciano is the name of another Italian grape that is very famous, very appreciated outside of Italy, that one, that is particularly grown in Abruzzo. That's also on the central part of Italy, but on the eastern coast, while Tuscany is on the western coast. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Because there is a double Z on to d'Abruzzo, you do want to insist on the d'Abruzzo, d'Abruzzo. Now for Montepulciano, the accentuation is on the A towards the end here, Montepulciano, Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Now, a fairly easy one that you've already heard 1,000 times, but it's probably worth repeating it, Pinot Grigio. Obviously, you do not pronounce the T to Pinot Grigio. One of the most common type of Pinot Grigio that is grown in the Venezie wine region, in the Venezie region in the north of Italy, around the city of Venice, yes, Venice, is Pinot Grigio delle Venezie. Pinot Grigio delle Venezie. Not far from the Veneto, well, actually in Veneto, close to the Verona, the city of Verona, is the area of Valpolicella. Valpolicella. I've heard wine experts saying Valpolicella or something like that. Well, it's Valpolicella. Again, because there is a double L here, make sure to insist on the L, Valpolicella. So the accentuation, the emphasis is on the L, Valpolicella, and not Valpolicella, as I've heard around. Amarone, the most common, the most famous type of Valpolicella wine, not the most common, but the most famous one is the Amarone della Valpolicella, this wine made from red dried grapes. Valpolicella, Amarone della Valpolicella. Of course, the most famous of all sparkling wines coming out of Italy, Prosecco. Prosecco, because there is a double C, and you are seeing a bit of a trend here, because there is a double C. Insist on the double C here. Make sure to insist on the secco. Secco. Prosecco. If you cannot pronounce the R, just say Prosecco. 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 Now, one of the finest types of Proseccos, you know, beyond the sort of cheap Prosecco that you find anywhere, if you want something a little bit more complex, a little bit more subtle, go for a Prosecco Conegliano, Valdobbiadene. Prosecco Conegliano, Valdobbiadene. But let's move to Chianti, to the heart of Italy, to Tuscany, that is so dear to my heart, and the wine made in Chianti. Of course, you do not want to say Chianti or Chianti, but just say Chianti. Another very good wine made in Tuscany, more towards the coast, in a bit of a warmer area, a bit of a more powerful style of Tuscan wine, that is Brunello di Montalcino. Brunello. Again, double A, also insist on the Nello. Brunello, Brunello, Brunello di Montalcino. Both Chianti and Brunello di Montalcino are made by the almighty Sangiovese Tuscan grape, the iconic Tuscan grape of Sangiovese. 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 Now to one of my favorite wine quotes coming out of Italy, that says "Dove regna il vino, non regna il silenzio," which means where wine reigns, silence doesn't reign. Meaning, yeah, where there's wine, there's going to be a bit of noise, a bit of joy, a bit of enthusiasm, and yes, we are wine enthusiasts here, so that's why I love this Italian proverb. If you want to learn more about how to pronounce more Italian wine words, important wine words, watch that video about the top 40 Italian wines. Top 40, yeah, that's gonna take you to the next level. I hope this video was useful, and I will see you soon in the wonderful world of vino. Au revoir, bye bye.